Welcome to a new update in which we're going to cover everything you need to know about the markets. And yesterday was a big day, and today we've got PPI and we've got the ETH merge coming up. All topics that we are going to address in this short update. And if you are enjoying the content, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe beneath if you want to stay tuned, as next week will be a big week, as then we're going to integrate the live streams again, which will be on Monday and Thursday evening at 7 p.m. and on Wednesday next week we're going live at 8 p.m. as the FOMC meeting is done there and the Fed's chairman Jerome Powell will be speaking. Also, if you do enjoy the content, we've got a trade letter where you can find the latest altcoin setups and more market analysis, which we integrate more when it comes to macroeconomics. And finally, we also have a premium membership where you can find all the information you need regarding my portfolio, which soon you will be able to copy trade. Now, yesterday CPI data came in, which was more positive than expected. We've hit the number of 8.3%. Which was higher than 8.1, and also core month to month increased way more, which is a little bit shocking, and it also resulted into the markets tanking heavy. The Nasdaq has dropped 5.5% on the day, and also Bitcoin has been tanking with more than $3,000 since the high on the exact same day. A little bit overreaction as the inflation is dropping down a little bit already. But the sentiment has been shifting from the expectations of 50 to 75 bips and a little bit more skewed towards 75 bips. And now we are expecting 100 bips again, as that is priced into the markets right now. So when we get towards the data of CPI, it is definitely not the best outlook. However, we are dropping a little. And we are also seeing that factory orders are negative. We are also seeing that ISM has got a little bit into the territory that we want to see. We've seen the Great Britain GDP and core CPI dropping down in the past month. So today PPI data is going to be an important reflector towards the markets overall, and next week FOMC meeting will be heavy too. But right now, with this overreaction, we can conclude that the prices are currently skewed towards a 100 bips expectation, and even worse, it's getting priced into the markets right now. So volatility all over the place. Conclusion is still that Bitcoin is in accumulation phase. The talks about Bitcoin going to 10k are back on the tables, which I do not really expect to be seeing to happen at this point. And also tomorrow ETH merge is happening. And then we've got the question of why are the funding rates so extremely high at this point? Well, people are doing the extended trick when it comes to airdrops. They have a spot position on ETH. They have that position. They hedge their position on shorts on the perp side. And in that case, you see that the funding rate is ultra negative. And now the question comes that if the merge goes through, what is going to happen with the staked coins? Well, those cannot be sold in the first place. They will still take 6 months. So what is the most likely outcome when the merge is going to take place? Obviously, most volatility will be happening. Question is though, are we going to see a run up, or are we going to see fall over again? I think that slightly favorable is that we're going to see a run up because of the shorts that have to get closed. But ultimately it leads towards the PPI data coming in, and also next week's FOMC meeting. I think that right now we're into a bear market, which means that the impact of such an event will be relatively low. I think that the hype will drain away, which means that overall the prices are probably not going to be running up significantly. Maybe a slight run up when it comes to closing those shorts, but overall probably just remaining stable. Let's dive into the charts on what we see when it comes to the data, and then we get towards the conclusion. So when we are talking about the price action of Bitcoin, we can see this heavy fall down, right? So we've had a very heavy correction taking place, and we are also looking for a higher low to be taking place on the price action of Bitcoin, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But first, let's zoom in a little bit, in which we can conclude that we were looking at a potential resistance around 23k, 23.3. We couldn't get there, and then we started to fall down. And as we have been claiming that 21.6 was such an important level to hold, we were not holding that level 21.8 overall, and we were just cascading south, triggering all the longs that have been liquidated, as we've got a spike in volume taking place here. Right now we're just consolidating, but preferably what do we want to see holding here is that we are not dropping beneath 19.3. In this case, we've had a big run up in the first place, and if we are going to hold 19.3 and are able to do so, we probably generate bullish divergence on lower time frames, and then we can start making some tests on the higher levels again. But overall, this looks like we are going to have those tests taking place, and it's not looking too great. But in the end, we've had this grind up and all the longs have been liquidated. So right now, the shorts should be able to get liquidated at some point or get stopped out. Overall, I think that if you want to look for longs, this is the area around 19.5 that you should be looking for. When we're looking at the dollar, massive moon in the previous day, right? We've had a big run up in which the trend remains to be upwards. Question is still whether the higher time frames are going to be sufficient with the trend, as we are still on the edge of this bearish divergence taking place, in which the trend is going to fall over, which means that the Euro USD pair also is looking for a higher low here. Heavy fallout yesterday. We had a run up to 1.02 and then we started falling back down again, but we could be having this bullish divergence and we could be creating ourselves a higher low, which is a signal that the trend might be reversing, which could be due to PPI. But most likely right now the worst is getting priced in with 100 bips already. If the outcome is going to be 75 and not 100 bips, I think that the odds are that the dollar will be falling down next week. Now when we look at Ether, we can have the exact same conclusion. However, it's a little bit more positive than when we're looking at Bitcoin, as the ETH Bitcoin pair have been bouncing up swiftly. Now when we're looking at the price action, the crucial breaker was the one at 1828. We have been falling down, but we are still holding the trend here, and I think that as long as Ether remains above 1350, we should be good to go towards 2.2k, and we should be good to go to have the momentum still. If we do lose 1350 and are in downtrend in which we're creating lower lows, lower highs, I think a sweep of the low will be happening here. Now finally, if we're looking at the total market cap, we are still in a trend that is holding up above the 200 week MA, right? So you clearly don't want to see it fall beneath 890 billion. If that happens, the 200 week MA is going to be lost for the first time ever on the total market cap. On chain, obviously the markets are already pricing in or already shouting that we are into a period that you really want to start investing into crypto. If we do lose this level at 890 billion, that's going to be heavily painful, and then we're looking at lows around 550 even. But right now we've had a pretty strong bounce from the 200 week MA, and if we do hold there, it is very clear that we are likely going to continue the trend in the coming weeks. So that is the conclusion of this update. There's not much we can do. I think we had a very heavy overreaction previously when it comes to the CPI data, and right now we are waiting for a final sweep of the low after we reject at 20.7, then have another sweep of the low, and then we're good to go back towards 22k. Now let's get towards the conclusion. Thanks for watching to this update. I hope you have enjoyed it. We have discussed everything with the CPI data, we have discussed the Bitcoin price action, and we have discussed Ethereum. If you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe beneath, hit the like button, and check out my videos for the coming days. Next week we'll be live on YouTube in the live streams. We'll be live on Monday and Thursday at 7 PM Central European Time, and on Wednesday at 8 PM Central European Time. Be there, and remember, remain calm and don't do stupid shit. Ciao.